right, thank you very much for that update, Eric. We do appreciate it. Finally today, we're going to be heading out to North Platte, where Nebraska Extension's Irrigation Water Management Lab is helping producers there make the most of their limited water resources. Based at the West Central Research, Extension, and Education Center, this lab is working to support efficient, smart irrigation strategies. And here's the best part of it. If you cannot come to them, they'll come right to you. We recently caught up with a team to learn how their Mobile Irrigation Testing Lab is helping producers improve irrigation efficiency right in their own fields.
Basically, when I went around and asked producers, how do you irrigate? So some of them were telling me that, it's based on experience. They know at different stages when the crop needs water. So based on that experience they have, because some of them have irrigated over 10 years, they know what they're doing. So, but then I was like, do you have anything that you put in the field, maybe like any technology of sorts that can tell you, okay, this is how much water I have in the field? So they're like, yeah, we've heard about technology, but we have not had a chance of trying some of those technologies in our fields. I was like, maybe we need to actually be able to access those technologies and then take them to their fields, and then we're able to start that conversation of how they can use them and how these technologies can help them to be able to maximize their use, but at the same time they're able to reduce how much they're pumping from the groundwater, because we have seen some parts of Nebraska where we're having issues of declines in groundwater. So the biggest goal when I go to see a producer is to learn from them first, to understand, how they are actually, in my perspective or in my area of expertise, how do they irrigate their crop? When do they know that, this is X amount of water needed by the crop? And also understanding their needs, because, I might be knowing the science, why they need something, but I need to understand, is that the solution that they need? So basically, in a nutshell, I go hear from them, learn from them, and identify the needs. So the Mobile Irrigation Testing Lab is for any producer in West Central Nebraska, but also we are not only tied in Western Nebraska, but across Nebraska. Where there's land that is irrigated, we can reach, because the idea is how do we bring the technology closer to producers so that they can be able to utilize data to manage the resource, to manage irrigation. So the idea is how do we make sure that producers are using data to inform their irrigation decisions. So the thing is, it is free testing. We don't charge them any money for them to try out any technology. They just have to tell us which kind of technology they want to test, and then we go ahead and deal with the industry or the company that is having that technology. So the other idea of Mobile Irrigation Testing Lab is how do we narrow that gap, between the consumer that needs the technology and the industry that is making the technology. From my experience, we started this program last year. Producers have really been nice to us, So what I do, basically, I first give them a call, hey, can I come today? Because, they're busy. Producers are busy in the summer, and that's where we do the work. That's when we put in the technology for them to use it. So we make a call, and then they invite us to their homes, and then we talk. And then, we get them on board with a mobile testing lab program. Something to add is that maybe for producers, we need to be mindful of how we're using the resource, because as we've seen that there's now a growing trend of declines in Nebraska, but also there's an issue of nitrates. So how do we balance the inputs, but water being the driving factor? Because if you don't put on the right amount of water needed by the crop and you put on excessive, then that extra water is going to wash out the fertilizer from the root zone where you're supposed to manage it, out of the root zone into the vadose zone, and eventually it ends up into our groundwater. So we need to be really careful on how we are managing irrigation.